Okay, let's look at the section 1.2 continued. All right, so we've already looked at a couple of forms. First one was a point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times quantity x minus x1. And the second form was a slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, which is a very familiar form. All right. Then there's actually a small problem with these two forms. And you can see that what's in common in these two forms, it would be both of them requires slope, right? But there's a kind of line that does not have a slope, or it has an undefined slope, which is the vertical lines. Right? So vertical line does not have a slope since for example, let's look at this vertical line here. Right? This vertical line goes through 2, 0 and a 2, 1. Let's try to find slope using a slope formula. So m is going to be equal to, right? So I'm going to call this guy x1 and y1, and here is x2 and a y2, right? Let's do y2, which is 1, minus y1, which is 0. So 1 minus 0 over, and x2 is 2, so 2 minus x1 is 2, right? So you can see that the numerator is 1, which is no problem, but the bottom is 2 times 2 is 0, right? So you can see that we cannot divide by 0, so this guy is undefined, right? This is a problem because which means that we don't have a slope, which means that we cannot use either of these forms. All right. So this is where standard form comes in. Since vertical line cannot be written in the first two forms, we need the third form that takes care of the vertical line, right? Which is the standard form here. Ax plus by is equal to c, and a, b, and c are just constants, right? So for example, the equation of this vertical line is going to be, right? So what's in common in these points on the vertical line is that the x value is always 2. X coordinates are always 2. So the equation is actually x equals 2, right? So this is the equation of the vertical line, right? So in standard form, this is actually in standard form. If you look at it this way, it's 1. Maybe I'll write it here. All right. So this is equivalent as, right, 1x plus 0y is equal to 2, right? So that the y, there's no y involved in the equation, right? And horizontal line is okay because the slope does exist, and the slope is going to be m is equal to, all right? So we can just do, so I'm going to call this guy x1, y1, and this is x2, y2, right? So the slope formula 3, y2 is 3, minus another 3, right, over x2 is 4 minus x1 is 1, which is going to give you 0 over 3, which is a fancy way of saying 0, right? Slope does exist, but our slope is 0, right? So we can actually use this, and for example, you can use a slope intercept form, and y-intercept is going to be 3 in this case, and the slope is 0. So equation is y equals 3, right? So that's an equation, right? And note that so this is also in standard form, as you can see that this is equivalent of saying 0x plus 1y is equal to 3. Right? So here's a remark. Right? So if b equals to 0, like this one, if b is equal to 0 in the standard form, this is going to be a vertical line. Right? If a is equal to 0, then this is going to be a horizontal line because slope is going to be 0 if a is equal to 0. All right? And a couple more examples I would like to go over is here. Let's say if you have an equation in standard form and try to write it in maybe a slope-intercept form, right? And this is the other way around. If you have an equation in slope-intercept form, can we rewrite it in standard form, right? So let's do that. Right, so we want to write it in slope-intercept form. We need to isolate y. So we just have to do a little bit of algebra to isolate y. Right, first thing I would do is get rid of 3x by subtracting 3x from both sides. Right, that way you have 4y is equal to, right, subtracting 3x, so it's a negative 3x, right? And there's 5 there already, so we put plus 5 there, right? And after that, we can just get rid of 4 by divide through by 4, which will give you y equals negative 3 over 4 x plus 5 over 4. Right? And this equation is in slope-intercept form. Right? Let's do the other way around. Let's say you have an equation in slope-intercept form. Let's try to rewrite it in standard form. Right? First thing, this is not, you don't need to do it, but since I like to simplify, so I don't like having a 5 on the bottom, I'm going to multiply through by 5. That way I don't have to deal with fractions. Right? Sorry, multiply by 5. I meant multiply by 5. So it's going to be 5y. Right? And 5 cancel out. So this is going to be negative 2x. And 1 times 5 is 5. All right, then last step, we can just move this guy over to the other side by adding 2x to both sides. So you have 2x plus 5y is equal to 5. Right? So this is in standard form. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.